Word, son. What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Devon. All right, man. I kind of been holding back on the Madden 18 videos because I wanted to do something different with the channel. Still do my simulation, aspects and outlooks on everything. But I kind of wanted to, veer it off in another direction and kind of like get into what I really want to do with this channel. But this is what happened to me like just not too long ago. Is kind of opening up a new wound. So without further ado, let's get up into it. So he has Adrian Peterson with the Cardinals, and I'm not really too much, flustered about that. So I kind of just, figured I'm gonna have to find a way to stop him at some point in time. So you see, he's running with the ball. He trips over the guy. I have a guy come over and poke the ball loose, but he's able to recover it in stride. Like the ball kicks back up into his hands. So I'm like, okay, that's like, it's kind of bullshit, and I'm like kind of pissed about that because let the shoe be on the other foot. If that was me, something would have happened to the point where he was able to recover the ball. But it's EA bailing him out yet again. You understand what I'm saying? It's always some roll of the dice, luck of the dice type bullshit. So the next play goes on. He's running the ball with ADP, and he snaps the ball. He's running. Then all of a sudden, he just happens to just run through my line. You know what I'm saying? I did whiff on a couple of plays. I will admit that. You know what I'm saying? But he's able to score, swerves a little bit, and that's cool. All right, so he scores, and it is what it is. Still pissed about the fact that fumble was mine, and they still let him recover that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go on offense and just have to go hard. Well, luckily, also at the same exact time when he had the ball, he tried to go for two, but I shut that down. You know what I mean? So I was able to contain that. As he was trying to go for two, you see him motion his man, and you see him send his man in motion, calling all kinds of different adjustments, stuff like that. So I guess he felt like he was really about to go for this too. He snaps the ball. I think I'm able to get a coverage sack on him, and it was coverage sack, and he kicks the ball off. So I'm like, all right, well, let me go ahead and try to establish my dominance here. So next thing you know, I get the ball. So I get the ball next, and I decide to go ahead and start running the ball, establishing my dominance. Made the OP spin move, and then I fumble after he takes my legs out. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on now? So I'm pretty much like pissed at this point. I'm mad tight about this now. So I can already see it's becoming one of those games that is just going to be a downhill, constant, fuckery of bullshit that's going to happen in this game. So I don't feel like dealing with it, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, all right, it's about to be one of those games. I can already feel it already. So he's running. So, he tries, establish his dominance with AP once again, because he did it on the first drive. So he tries to run it again or whatever. So I'm able to stifle it, and he just comes out of there with a field goal out of all of that he just did. So we was able to stifle him. He just comes out with a field goal. So after the field goal, he goes to a kickoff. So after we get to the point of him kicking the field goal, so he kicks the ball off. I'm returning it with Aguilar. I do a juke move. Next thing you know, it's another fumble. The second fumble in a row. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I just quit. Like that. This is the one time I have no problem saying that I just quit. I was just like, forget it, because it's going to be a consistent shit show of me getting consistently screwed over, because the game just wants to just make the other player seem like he's in control and he's in position. So everything was just happening in a consistent pattern. And then next thing you know, I started getting messages like, he starts saying shit like, oh, I'm a bum, and you about to make another account. And this is the state of Madden that we're in right now. This is the point that we're at. When some fuck shit happens in the game, everybody loves to make it to where it's your fault while you're experiencing this. I say this in a lot of my videos, and people think I just blow smoke when I say this, but it's the truth. I told him, I said, look, it's bullshit. How do you recover a fumble in stride, and then you get two consecutive fumbles back to back on me, but everything is okay and that's trash? Now if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't be popping that shit. You see it in the messages, right? So then he's like, nah, bro, you just a bum. Why don't you just cover the ball? Everybody knows that the cover ball, I don't even want to say mechanic, the button does not fucking work. Majority of the time when you press it, they thinking that you're trying to say, oh, get slim, and he'll do that stupid get slim move. You know what I mean? So everybody knows that cover ball shit doesn't work. And, he just, it's just like some real pathetic shit that everybody loves to point the finger at you and make it seem like it's your fault. But if I beat you on the flip side, oh, you got lucky. You still a bum. You just got lucky. You know what I'm saying? And if I shit talk your ear off about it, you not gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, Stop with the double standards, double standards and the hypocritical shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the shoes on the other foot, you be popping the same shit as I'm saying right now. You know what I mean? But everybody loves to sit there and try to, make themselves feel good off of some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we continue messaging, and then I tell him how, like I said earlier, I tell him how if I flip the situation and you lost off of that shit, oh, you would be saying all kinds of shit like, oh, you still a bum, you just got lucky, yada, 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 it was a bad game. But you see this shit right here, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's disgusting at the fact that this is where we're at in Madden right now. This is where we're legitimately at. The double standard hypocrisy state of Madden. You know what I mean? Most people sit here and say that, oh, it's just a game. Why you worried about it? It's just a game, yada, 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 go play something else. But when it's a game that you grew up with, and it was something that was a key point in your childhood, a key element in your childhood, and then you finally want to like revisit it, or you want to keep the nostalgia going, or the like I said, the key point of your childhood going, and then you play it and it's like this. It's not the way that you remember. Yes, Madden is going to change. It's supposed to evolve. That's what it's supposed to do. But when you have shit like that happening, and people still yet rationalize it and just completely ignore the issue at hand and make it seem like it's a user issue and not a gameplay developing legacy issue. You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting. So I told him, I was like, same thing I just said, that's fucked up, because if I did it to you, you wouldn't like that shit. So I told him, I was like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's totally fine. I'm gonna put this on YouTube, and I'll let you know when I put it up there. And I meant that shit. I say that to a lot of people who I play against, and I feel like, they were full of shit, either when I lost them or when I beat them. I would say it all the time, but then over the time I'd be like, whatever, it is what it is. But this right here really just snapped me into the point. I was like, I need to put this out so everybody can see exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And I'm not shooting anybody no bullshit or blowing smoke on nobody's ass. This is what we're dealing with now. You know what I mean? So after that, he sent another message still talking about, you still crying, 22-10, just make another account like you normally do, yada yada yada. But I'm just like, what are you talking about? I'm not one of those types that'll sit here, oh, just because if my win-loss spread isn't the way I want it to be, I'm gonna make a new account and start over. No, it is what it is. I really should be 23-10. I'm 23-10 now. Well, I should be 24-9. 24-10 actually, because the guy who I played before him quit. He dashboarded me at some shit, and I didn't get the dub for it. So that game just got swept under the rug. Then the game after was him, and I quit that. So that's how I'm 10. And then I played another game after him to try to renew that win I was supposed to get, and I beat him. So you know what I mean. But so like I said, I told him, I was like, you sound stupid, because I'm not finna change, like, I'm not finna make a new account because, my win-loss ratio is yada yada. No, I don't care nothing about that shit. This ain't Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's messed up how you'll point the finger at the user, but then when it happens to you, you just, oh man, come on with this shit here. And you just sweep it under the rug. But if it happens to somebody else, you harp on that, and you use that as leverage to sit here and talk shit and make it sound like you're that good. The dude's record was 91-63. Nothing to be like afraid about. The only thing people look at is maybe the fact that he has more games under his belt than me, which I don't give a fuck about none of that. Is if you can actually play without the fucking strings attached. So like I said, this game right here was a game that had strings attached. 2 consecutive fumbles back to back. Come on, man. Nobody's gonna sit here and sit through a game and deal with that shit. That's just not how it's gonna happen. So I told him, like I said, I'll post a video when I let you know. Peace. And he hasn't responded back to me since. So, if y'all see his name, if anyone wants to send some hate mail his way, do your thing. But as far as this right here, this is disgusting. There's no way in hell that this is acceptable. So let's take a look at LeGarrette Blount's ratings, the key ratings that determine whether or not it's a fumble or not. So let's look at the ball carrying vision. 91, carrying at 88. Would it have really made a difference whether or not I would have covered the ball? If anything, with somebody with those ratings, it should have been kind of slim to none for him to drop the ball. Yes, he's a big guy, and they tell you to go lower on big guys. You know what I'm saying? If you want to lay a hit on him and increase the chance of a fumble. But LeGarrette Blount is 250 pounds, 6 feet. This dude's built like a beefcake. Okay, you know what I mean? Like there's no way of him losing the ball unless he's like significantly tired. That was the first time he touching the ball. So do you mean to tell me that like not carrying but covering the ball, that would have been the determining factor of him not dropping the ball? Is this where we're getting at? So let's go take a look at ADP's ratings. Pretty big significant difference, right? 85 ball carrying vision and an 82 carrying. Pretty significant, right? Now, I know a lot of people saying, well, what's the difference? They both fumbled. This is what I'm getting at. Why is my guy just as inept at fumbling the ball as AP, even when he has better ratings than him? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not fair. You know what I mean? If you're going to make ratings take into account, keep it consistent within the parameters of the game. Stop cutting corners and make it sound, oh, well, he went low on him, so that was a fumble. No. Keep it consistent. If my guy's ratings say that he has that, he's supposed to be more inept at taking hits and even harder hits than that. If he's supposed to be inept at that, keep it consistent. Everybody knows that Adrian Peterson is fumble prone. Everybody knows that. LeGarrette Blount, I ain't gonna say rarely fumbles. He fumbles, but it takes a lot for him to fumble. You feel what I'm saying? So I shouldn't be getting shortchanged off of the strength of this man here. Well, y'all seen it here, man, firsthand. You see this in slow motion. Pop the ball loose. He misses it the first time. Ball skips up. Adrian Peterson's able to catch it as it's in the air, as Fletcher Cox can't. And he recovers it and acts like nothing is wrong. So y'all call this realism? This is supposed to be what a authentic simulation football game is supposed to be. This is what it's supposed to be, Rex. So when exactly are we going to stop giving Rex and Clint the leniency to keep making mediocre products like this and make excuses on top of excuses and actually make a decent football game? Don't get me wrong, Madden 18 has its moments, but it's never pissed me off to this point where I just really don't want to fucking play it anymore. Because it's stuff like this that people do on a daily basis and they don't find nothing wrong with it. You know, you show this to Rex or Clint, none of them are going to say anything about it. They just look at it as, oh, well, it seems normal to me. I don't see anything wrong with it. This is why Madden is shitty the way it is, because we allow too much. We need to hold them to a better standard, or hold them to that standard as they claim they want to be a quote-unquote simulation football game. And I keep saying it because Rex opened his mouth and said it first. And he hasn't retracted on that. He hasn't retracted on that statement yet. You understand what I'm saying? So, no more excuses. This is unacceptable. As a user and as someone who's played Madden for a long time, this is a slap in the face. This is a spit in the face to everyone who grew up playing Madden and enjoyed replicating what they seen on Sunday or Monday night or a Thursday night, if you want to be modern about it. And you get this. $60 and you get this, or $80 if you play Madden Ultimate Team. This is unacceptable, man. We need to hold him to this standard. And I'm gonna continue bashing him and shit talking about Rex and Clinton until they get this shit right. Madden 18, man. 19, I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear, oh, we're pressed for time. I don't want to hear that shit. If you really want to get something done, you get it done. No excuses. But y'all heard it here first, man. Y'all see the evidence. Y'all see what I'm talking about. I mean, what else is there to say? I'm going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate all the support. It's your boy Jay Devon, and I'm signing out. Peace.